Hello, guys. Can you hear me?
Hey,
There
guess
I
what?
am.
Here we are.
There I am.
It's
Hi.
a button.
Hi, hi. Hello, crafty friends. Hi, Thelma and Diane and Stephanie. And who else? Alice. Hi, Alice and Diane and Stephanie and Mary and Diane and Stephanie and Alice and Mary R.
And Brenda.
And Brenda. Hi, Brenda. And I feel like I should say everybody's name twice now. Oh, hi, Sharma. Hello, guys. Oh, this is going to be such good fun today. Do you know today's kit sold out, guys? We are sold out of today's beautiful kit, but it's going to be great, great fun. Oh my gosh, wait till you see what we're going to do. And I realize that I'm probably the only one working today on this, but it's okay. Sometimes I get kind of intimidated when I'm the only one working on something and you're not there with me doing it. But this kit is so cool, I really don't even mind it because it's really cool. Yes, I'm glad you got yours too. Really glad you got it because, and most of you are getting the add-on kit. Good thinking because, oh, it's so pretty. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't think this is one I don't think the pictures do justice to. Let's look at those cards again before we get going. And those of you who are watching later and didn't get this kit, I'm sorry. I had a finite number of them, and since I was offering this kit on kind of short notice, sometimes they don't sell as well when I don't give you time, to see it. But so I thought, well, a shorter quantity is okay. But a shorter quantity was not okay because they're beautiful. Go ahead and show me.
Ready?
Yep, full screen.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. Look at that. Yeah, come see, Brittany. Brittany hasn't seen these cards yet. Yes. It is this one. If you find any more, well. No, there's add-on kits in the system. If you find more, list them. But
it says there's more. It's all the comments.
Okay, you take a look, and if you find more, we'll put more up. But anyway, this one, you can have my box if you wanted to check stuff out.
No, in Big Commerce, it says you have 7 of them left. I thought you were doing the tattered lace one, which you did sell out of.
Oh!
You have not sold out of the snowflake.
I have not sold out of this one. I have not sold out of this one. So if you missed it, Stephanie, you can still get it. Brittany's correcting me. It's Saturday's class I sold out of. See, that's what happens when I look at inventory numbers before I go to bed at 5 in the morning. By 5 in the morning, I shouldn't be looking at any numbers and believing I know what I'm doing. So we got this one. Anyway, while we have this whole discussion, you got a beautiful view of that one.
Say hi, Mary T.
Hi, Mary T. And we got this one. What do you guys think of the sale? If you didn't see the sale, hi, Diane. Yes, we decided we do still have some of this one. If you didn't get it, there are still a few. There aren't a lot.
No, there are not very many.
There are not very many of them. There's just, what did you just say, 7?
I think there are 7.
There are 7 left. Brittany's, yes, Mary R says Brittany saves the day yet again. And this one, this is these 4 are our regular class kit. We'll do those first. Although I am going to put the paste down for, look at that. Isn't that beautiful?
Diane says
Aren't they
she
pretty?
bought a lot of Unky Dories today.
So anyway, these are the add-on kit. We are going to put the paste down for this one because it takes a few minutes to dry. So we've got this one. And we've got this one. Now this one you have to see closer up because this one has the pearl drops on it, which are absolutely stunning. Excuse me. All right. Yes, you did get a bargain price. $12 for 10 topper sets and a pack of inserts. Woohoo!
Take them away.
Brittany is totally elated that I finally just bit the bullet and said, okay, some of this older stuff has got to go right now. So she is totally elated that we're clearing shelves and making room because those pallets are working their way to us. Sometimes the custom service and FedEx together can make me a crazy person. And that's kind of what's happening right now with our boxes. They're sitting on the dock in Seattle, accruing daily storage fees while FedEx is being a total pain in the bum about releasing stuff. And they're asking the same questions 3 times.
I'm going to interrupt you. Do you want me to run some of the dye?
Sure.
The silver and the gold?
Sure.
That's one of the requests.
Yes.
Okay.
That would be awesome, actually. Let me dig in my supplies here and find my dyes. There's my folder. This kit is so rich, guys. I have to show you this once again. It's amazing what you get with this kit. This magazine, I don't need the box anymore. I needed the box to show you the pictures. But this magazine is chock full. Almost the entire magazine is full of patterns for this die set. And this, they usually give us, 3 or 4 pages, maybe in Tattered Lace, you get 6 or 7 pages. This entire magazine, except maybe the ads, are devoted to this kit. So that's really rich for the magazine. There are so many ideas. You're not going to believe how many ideas you get. So you get this magazine. You get this embossing folder, which is absolutely gorgeous. You get all of these papers. They give you a double printed paper pack. You actually get 2 paper packs this size, which makes doing this class really neat because I don't have to break into one or copy or do anything else. We got this one. You get this stamp set, which is rich by itself. It's absolutely gorgeous. You get these 2 cutting dies, and that's before I even started adding to the kit. Oh my gosh, it's a good one. Okay, what are you looking for, Margie?
The hand.
The what? The what?
Die cut. The hand
Oh,
paint die cut.
you could use this one over here without bothering me.
Okay.
Just
perfect.
clear a little of the stuff behind there. You guys don't care if Margie's right next to me. It'd probably be easier just to feed it sideways, just right where it says, because it's a heavy dude. So I did look up the pricing. Some of you guys were asking about the pricing of this machine, about the Go Press, the Go Power and Emboss machine when we were on. How Teddy's ball got on my table is beyond me. Probably the cleaning people, but some of you were asking about the pricing of that machine. I couldn't quote it off the top of my head. Didn't want to misquote a big price, but it's $270 shipped. My flat rate shipping price from the distributor to you is $10, and I'm eating that. It's $270 shipped to you. So it's a fabulous machine, but I know $270 is a chunk of change. But I just thought I'd tell you what it is. If anybody's interested in links to the product features and stuff, just let me know. It's not something that I have listed actively, but if you want it, I can get it for you. So anyway, really, really, really rich kit. Now let's get our stuff out here and get going. You are going to, yes, cutting plates. That's right. That one. Cutting plate.
Mm-hmm.
This one goes on top. The magnetic plate can stay. That's fine. And then cutting plate, put your die in your paper and your one over the top. Okay, you need some mirror board. We are going to need, let's see how many of these I need. I need quite a few.
I'll just start running and you can tell me.
Yeah, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, not that bad. I need 3 each of the silvers for my sample cards.
One each of the gold.
And I'm not sure what paper I'm going to give you, though. Just grab a piece of paper out of the drawer so I'm not compromising my stash here and what I might need to cover cards. And then I need 3 gold, 3 small gold, and 1 big one. Okay, anyway, so let's see. Let's get going here. I think I am going to need to. Let me run my papers. Oh, I also didn't tell you that when you get our kit, you're getting these 2 stamp pads with it because these were not in your. Can you do me a favor, Margie? That move the TV down just a little because it's cutting right at the end after questions. I can't see what people are asking. There we go. Perfect. That's it.
Got it.
Yes, you will need to cut the dies at home. Yes, you will.
Yeah, I'm not cutting them for you.
But you're getting these 2 stamp pads because you did not have this yet in your Apollo kit. Now, I think before you get started, Margie, I'm going to do a little bit of embossing because I need those to get started. So I'm just going to trade this out. Got my little sandwich all created here. We're going to emboss a piece of gold. So let's get one of our pieces of gold here. We're going to put it in our folder. If you don't have, let's see, you're still going to need to, you're really going to need a cutting and embossing machine. I was going to say, well, if you didn't have it, maybe I could help you, but you're really going to need a cutting and embossing machine to do the embossing and stuff for this also. So let me, oops, runs better if you run it through the machine, turn the power on. Okay, so I just put my mirror board right into my embossing folder, run it through my machine, and we get this beautiful embossed image. I'm also going to need, all of those are done with a special technique. So, okay, that's all I have to do for right now. So you're good to go. Let me just take this one back out. So this is how you do this, Margie, when you're switching out.
Mm-hmm.
You just substitute this one for this one, and the entire sandwich stays the same otherwise. Okay, let's go ahead and get going here. We're going to start. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
We're going to start by putting some paste down. Do you know what they did with the credit card that was sitting? Oh, there it is. They put it under the trimmer.
I pushed
That's
it
it.
under.
Thank you. That's my old credit card. It's dead. If anybody saw the number, it wouldn't do them any good, but I needed it for my pasting job. Okay, because it makes a really, really good squeegee. Okay. Now, normally, if I'm pasting, I go get my pasting, my my station, my Wendy Vici station. Today, I don't have all that much that I need to do. Although, what did I do with I washed my tool. What did I do with it? I'm going to scoop out some of this powder. need something I can dig this powder out with, or this paste out with. That's all I gotta do. I don't know what I did with my tool I had sitting here. Okay, well.
What are you looking for? Maybe
I was looking for my my
palette
spatula.
knife type thing.
Yeah, I just washed it. I mean, I just did. I just cleaned it up after the last one. Well, that's all right. When all else fails, improvise. All I'm looking for it for is to get the paste out of the jar. So a paintbrush handle will work fine. Don't even worry about it, Margie. I'm covered now.
It's there.
You found it?
Oh, I found one.
Okay. Hi, Karen. Is it on my left? Mary says. Okay, I'm going to take my old dead credit card, give it new life, and I'm going to spread this paste back and forth and fill all those little holes. Even putting this stuff on is beautiful. It's gorgeous. This is a 6x6 stencil that's included in your kit. That should get her done. Okay, I'm just going to wipe this off my tools. I'm going to give you this, if I might, Margie, to rinse off the stencil, if you would, because you don't want to let this paste completely dry on your tools. It's good if you're working, if you're continuing to work, to have like a little tray of water or something when you're doing your stenciling to drop your stencils into so they can't dry on. But look at this beautiful piece we just created. Just that easy, guys. See that? And you can put that way up out of my reach where I can't. Thank you. You get lots and lots of this paste in this add-on bottle. The thing we just did is for your add-on cards. But yeah, you get a lot of paste in that bottle, and this paste is so neat for so many things. You can put it on with a paintbrush and add glittery effects to your stuff.
We did the Peony Promise stuff with that.
Yeah, this is the same product that Margie was using for the Peony Promise. So it's good stuff, and it's beautiful. So I did that just to let that dry. Otherwise we're not going to start our inspiration cards yet. So we're going to set those aside and work on our others. Let's go ahead and get one of our European A6 cards cut down. So we need this out of my paper pack. I'm going to get that beautiful red sheet. I think I have a partial left here. Let's see. Yeah, it's the back of the Christmas tree paper. That red is just stunning, that brick red. Pretty, pretty. We're going to go ahead and we're going to get this covered in the red. Excellent. I'm glad you got one, Stephanie. I'm sorry if I worried you or confused you there. I just got confused between Saturday's class, which is now sold out, and this one.
I don't know if you answered the question, so bear with me if I'm repeating. But Alice says, what paper did you use under the stencil?
I used it's the kind of gray one. Let's see. The blue gray. It's this one. And you have 2 full sheets of it in your kit. So don't over, we're going to use a lot of this. Well, we're not going to use a lot of it. I guess we're covering a 5x7 card with it. And we're making that background piece with it. So you have plenty since you have 2 full sheets of it. Let's go ahead and put this down. Thank you for asking, Alice. I should have told you that. Yeah, other than the mirror board, all of the papers we're using today are from our kit. It's just a really rich kit. An amazingly rich kit. Okay. Flip this over and cut around it because that's how we roll. And we've got our card covered. We'll go ahead and trim down our mirror board. This embossing folder makes an image. By the time that you cut off the edges that don't emboss, it makes an image that is perfectly suited to layering. So all I'm going to do is cut off my flat edges on here. See where there's little flat edges around my paper? Both because my paper was oversized, but then I'm actually going to cut down to where my image starts. And when I do that, where the embossing starts, and once I've done that, my paper is really perfectly situated to fit my card. So that's convenient. As always, I'm going to be a little bit conservative in my first cut to make sure that it doesn't get too small. And then I'll go in and cut off some more.
Sorry.
Yeah, but that's looking good. Okay, I have one tiny bit here. I had a little bit of ink in my stencil. You'll see why in my embossing folder. I should have scrubbed it better, but I'm going to wipe off my image just a tad because I had a little bit of ink that came out on the front of this. You'll see why in a minute. And when all else fails, dry it off on your pant leg. Okay, now I've cut down those extra edges, and see there? Look how that works out. Isn't that nice? I have a little bit, just a tiny edge of white showing there, and I don't want to do this over, so I'm going to grab my paprika. I'm going to ink the edge of my card. Now I no longer have white showing because the smoked paprika bat is exactly the color of this paper. So it's going to be a fun one to have in your Apollo kit. Okay. You guys remember why I call it the Apollo 13 kit? Because I try not to use, for my stamping class, I try not to use anything that you don't already have or isn't included in your kit. When they had problems with the Apollo mission, they had to solve the problems with what was already on the space capsule. So that's why I call your stamping stash your Apollo kit. Yes, Mary R is on our thing.
I just got them all pushed over.
Mary R, your Products that you wanted are now available. I thought I saw them sell earlier. Did I not? No. Okay. Your products that you wanted are now available out there.
I just pushed all of them at the same time.
Okay. So they're out there now. So that's why I call it our Apollo kit. I did my sample card putting the larger corner to the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and stick this on here. I should have used tape flags, and I was talking and not paying attention, so I didn't. Do you have any gold once done? Can I have gold next, please? Or you already have gold. Look at you. You're so good. I need 2 more baby golds.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Okay. For the center of our card, I'm going to use my big snowflake with a foam square. As soon as I figure out what I did with my foam squares, here they are. I'm going to put a foam square in the middle of my snowflake and peel that. And then I'm going to add my little snowflake. I'm going to turn it on corner so that the points of the little one face out between the points of the big one. Hopefully evenly and not like I just did. Let's try a new foam square. It's actually a very easy thing. I'm just being klutzy. Hello, Karen. Oh, we are loving these cards in this kit, Karen. It is beautiful. I thought we were sold out, but we have just a couple remaining now. So those of you who are watching and not signed in, or those who are watching later, you know, the sooner you get yours, the better if you want it. Okay, now I'm going to get my gems, and I'm going to put one of the big gems right in the center of, hi Susan. I'm going to put one of my big gems right in the center of this snowflake. And are you guys noticing that this machine, while it's big and it's powerful, is not particularly loud where electric cutting machines go? It's way less loud than some of my others. I'm going to take my little glue bottle and I'm going to just run it down I'm going to run it from the center down to the end of the snowflake points, because if something's going to get ruffled, it'll be those points. So I'm going to put this just a little over center. Stick that there. And now I'm going to get one of my little snowflakes. And I'm going to glue from the center. Now, glue does not hold particularly well to mirror board. These are little tiny lightweight elements. I'm not terribly worried about them not holding. Usually I don't glue on top of mirror board because mirror board and glue don't tend to work well together. But I really figure that based on the size and weight of these snowflakes, they'll be. Thank you, Susan, for hitting that thumbs up button. I really appreciate it, friend. As long as you're giving that reminder when everybody else goes smash that like button too. That would be wonderful. I appreciate the reminder too. We're going to, I think we'll be fine gluing these little lightweight elements, but if it was an element of any size, I would say we would probably need the best glue ever. We'd have to figure out how to tape it. These should be fine. So I'm actually going to let this next one kind of go right up onto the red. I think that's kind of fun sometimes, just to overlap your elements. And uh-oh, that was ugly. Let's wipe that off and try that again. I really made a glue mess when I shifted that when I was talking. Okay, I'll dry that off a bit there. And let's try that again, because that was messy. Messy, messy. I gotta clean off my snowflake too. That was just messy what I did there. There we go. I think we're fine now. I can clean off any residual fog after it's dry if necessary. There we go. Okay. And we need one more on the other side. Let me see if I can do a better job of putting that one on than I did this one. This one, I'm going to lift up a little bit towards my left corner because I'm going to put my Merry Christmas overlapping this and hanging down into my glue I'm having problems with today. Come on. I think I have a little bubble in there. Okay. There we go. There we go. Now it's running. Now it's running full steam. Okay. It's got a little air bubble or something in there. I'm going to place this one slightly higher and to the left. Once you're done putting those on, go back and push your others down a little bit because, as I said, they will try not to hold. See this one, how it's lifting? Because it just doesn't want to glue to the mirror board, but we can hold that, let it tack, and just keep pushing it down. We'll put a little extra glue under there if we have to, but I believe it's just because it's not tacking. If you have time and want to use best glue ever on the back of these. Is that better, Diane?
Maybe your Nouveau pen.
Nouveau pen would also potentially be a good one. Still going to do a little more cleanup here. Boy, it annoys me when I do something like that. Get that glue all over the place. I don't usually do that. I'm more careful, but I messed that up. There we go. Okay, got rid of the fogginess. There we go. Okay, you ready? Let's go. Oh, because I'm almost off camera. Okay, I'll watch it. All right. I need the stamp platform. Okay, bringing in my stamp platform. Going to get a piece of my white cardstock out here, out of my kit. Those are my cards. There's my white paper. I get one of my white cardstocks out here. I'm going to put this up in the very corner. I've already peeled my Merry Christmas. Actually, I left it on here the other night. And I'm going to get that paprika color again. I'm going to stamp my Merry Christmas. Push that down. A beautiful Merry Christmas image. The stamp well too. Which is one of the things you got to kind of watch in some of these magazine kits, depending on the brand. Sometimes the stamps aren't as good, but These ones that are coming from the Practical Publishing seem to be pretty good. So this to my right. I think we're
Are we good?
I think we're good.
There's 7 of the little and 5 of the big.
Okay. I'm gonna cut out my Merry Christmas. I want to show you my board. It's messy looking. My cutter looks messy and grayed. You know how I've been threatening to smear the paint on there so I could see the markings better? It would have worked better with a newer cutter because mine is well loved. And you know, the paper itself, paper actually has surprising cutting qualities. The paper over time, you know, cuts into the plastic surface a little as you're using your machine. And so it kind of, you know, just the wear affects the finish. So the unintended side of my project to get my numbers to show, my numbers do show, and it's worth making my pretty machine look not pretty. Hold this up so you can see, is that I can now read my numbers all over, including my extended arm. I can read all my numbers and I can see my lines, which has become increasingly important as I get older. But the unintended side is everywhere the surface was scuffed, it kind of stained it a little bit. And I've scrubbed it, doesn't want to come off. And you know, if it's not coming off with scrubbing, it's not going to come off on my project. So I really don't care that well, I care a little bit, but I really don't care too much that I scuffed up or that I messed up the pretty finish on my cutter because I can read it now. So there you go. Sticky notes might work well, Stephanie. Yeah, same kind of concept as you'd have to use a lot of those little micro dots on the ends of your snowflakes, but they would work well. Yeah, as would Best Glue Ever letting it die. Will I get any more of the Chloe kits? You know, the next time I see one available, I would say there's a pretty good chance we'll get a different one down the road because I'm totally impressed with what they put together here. The papers are beautiful. The stamps are beautiful. The embossing folder's beautiful, including the stencil was a nice touch. And the cutting dies work great. I'm pretty impressed with what they put together. So I will absolutely take a good look at it and see if it's something that we can build a class out of because I am loving this Chloe's kit.
Say hello to Susan.
Hello, Susan. Nice to have you with us, friend. Okay. Thank you for cutting that stuff, Margie.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. I'm just backing my Merry Christmas with some of that red paper since I'm putting it on my gold finish. I think that'd look nice. The other thing I could have done and didn't think about, might have looked nice, would have been to ink around the edges of this. But since it's the red paper behind it, it really doesn't matter much. So I'm going to get my card out here now. Now things are sticking pretty good now. See that? Everything's laying down pretty nicely. I'm going to put some foam squares under this Merry Christmas. And I'm going to prop that right up on top of my snowflake I put down. You know how when we put our gold lines on gold mirror board, it kind of gives that etched look? This, when we're layering our snowflakes on, gives kind of the impression of embossing there, which is kind of cool. I have all kinds of foam squares here. There we go. All right. All right, here we go. Is anybody living in one of the areas threatened by fires? We are not. I've gotten lots of questions about that because Oregon's getting a lot of press for the wildfires in the south. That massive, terrible wildfire down there. And there's several others around the state, and the state of Washington has quite a few, and the state of California has quite a few, and Idaho's burning up, and so there's lots. Colorado has some. All those states that haven't had enough rain lately are getting caught up in that. Is there anybody out there, any of you who are in areas threatened by those fires? Okay. I'm gonna, sometimes when I do these, I kind of reposition and move things around a little bit. I'm putting this tag on in a little different position than I did last time. Okay, I'm going to put a couple extra of my gems on here, and this card is going to be done. Over a dozen burning in Arizona. Yeah. Oof. Wildfires are scary.
Except that the smoke is blowing all the way over to the east coast from here.
It's blowing clear into Russia. I mean, they're reporting smoke from our fires in Russia. I read this morning, just a CNN headline. That's wild. That's wild. Yeah, the bootleg fire is just really massive. Okay, I'm going to put, I'm kind of using my medium-sized rhinestones here, my gems, and I'm putting a rhinestone in the middle of each of the medium-size or the smaller snowflakes. I'm going to come down here and put one of my large gems in the embossed snowflake in the corner. And then I have two smaller snowflakes here. I think I'm going to go ahead and give them a medium-sized gemstone. I love these AB gemstones with this kit. They're really pretty. And there we go. We are done. Isn't it pretty? Love it. This really shows off the embossing folder when you do it on Mary. That'd be beautiful in gold and silver too. I was using a lot of silver already, so I opted for the gold. And I really like the gold and red together. It's just kind of unexpected. All right, next, let's do some more stamping. We got our stamp platform here. I'm going to use my black stamp pad, aren't I? I could use my gray if I wanted to. I do have a gray sitting here, but I'm not sure you have a gray. So let's just dig and find one of our blacks. This is my Apollo kit. I thought I had all my kit and all my pads out, but I missed this one. Here's Midnight Black. It'll work. Grab my black stamp pad. You guys have that one. Put these away since I'm not using these. It won't confuse me. Okay. We're going to get out our, peel up the one we used last, and I'm going to get out my stamp sheet. I'm going to move some of this extra stuff out of my way. I want this paper right here. I want a 7x7 piece of Mary board. Get that out. I want my stamps out. I want my black stamp pad. I want my, let's see, I'm going to need my foam squares. These are, oops. I'm going to need my gems. I'm going to need, I think that's, oh, I'm going to need a smaller piece of Silver Mary as well. So I have 2 pieces of Mary on this card. I'm going to stack all the rest of this up and move it out of my way because I'm feeling congested here. I'm going to just move the rest of this. Oh, I do need my 5x7 card base too. There's only one 5x7 in there, so find that. Well, I'm moving stuff around. Let me say to you, this kit right here was showing, this is the one they called Winter Wonder. It's got the beautiful blues. This was showing sold out, but I had the wrong number in the system. We have a few left of these. If anybody wanted this Winter Wonder and couldn't get it, this is on 300 GSM. I think there's 5 left. Grab them if you want one. Okay, we're going to, oh, I also want a piece of stamping card, just because I don't trust myself to stamp directly on my, this will work. This one I cut off of already, it'll be fine. Just because I don't necessarily trust myself to stamp directly on the card base. And it's layered anyway, duh. Okay, this is what we're making. Margie's laughing at me because I'm kind of wild and all over the place today. You're not supposed to tell him that. I went to bed so, I would say late, but it was really early. So early this morning that my husband woke me up at 3:30 and said, "Do you have a class?" And I said, "Yes, I do. What time is it?" And he said, 3:30. I said, "You didn't wake me up till 3:30?" He said, "You're a grown-up girl, Deborah. Get yourself up."
That sounds exactly like something you would say.
Yeah, yes, that's what he does. Okay, we're going to get this big, beautiful snowflake wreath out, and we're going to get our bow out. I did not give you a red coloring device. I figure all of you have, a lot of you have our watercolor pens from our class that we did, and you can use those, or you can use your colored pencils or whatever you like to color your bow. So I did not supply you with a bow. I'm going to actually lay this out where I want it on my paper and just see where I want my bow to go. And I'm stamping my bow first. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but I'm going to position my bow there. I'm going to lift back up this one. You're stamping the bow first. Why? Because the bow's in the front, and we don't want lines from our wreath in our bow. So we're going to stamp our bow first. Get my midnight black out here. It would be better to use your detail pad. Oh, look what I just found. Good. Use your detail pad, your Pink Fresh, if you have it, because if you're using a water pen of any kind or a water-based marker, it could smear when you color your bow. So use your hybrid ink pad if you have that available. That's what I really wanted to use, and I just didn't know what I did with it. I just found it. Okay, I'm pushing my card right up into the corner. I'm gonna stamp my bow, and it looks beautiful. I will wipe off my bow and set that aside. I'm going to get my mask that I've already cut out. I stamped this on a piece of double stick or one of those super sticky Post-it notes, the stick all over. If you don't have those, get some of those. Those are just like the stamper's best friend. And I stamped it on there. I cut it out. And then I saved my masks from job to job because why not? I don't have to do it over again. And I'm going to position my snowflake wreath right over the top of that. I'm going to, tough love, Mary says, yeah. I'm going to ink it up with my pink fresh pad, my hybrid pad. I'm going to close this. Now you could use, and it would be pretty, a soft blue or other colors. I just used black because it was sitting here. I don't think that's stamped as thoroughly as I want, but the beauty of a stamping platform is I make sure my card's right in the corner. I'm going to ink it up again, and I'm going to stamp it a second time. If I were doing more stamping, I'd get out my nifty jifty Kathy girl stamping tool. That looks good. Now it's all covered.
Mary R says that you need your Chucky, Debbie.
I need my what?
Chucky?
You need your Chucky. What's my Chucky? Oh, my Chucky? Is that my stamping tool? Is that what we call my stamping tool? If I was doing more, I'd get it out. It's over here. I just have to take it out of my pile of things that aren't put away. Peel up my mask. Saving my mask because I don't want to rebuild them. And here's my stamped image. It's pretty, pretty, pretty. Kathy girl made it. Yes. It's called my Chucky.
Didn't you know that that's what your own items are called?
No, I didn't know it's called Chucky, but okay. Okay, I'm going to cut this to be, I haven't found my ruler yet. I really need to clean my desk. That's what I really need to do. But I'm going to measure it with my, okay. I'm going to cut this to 3.5 by 4. That's a nice friendly size. 3.5 by 4 inches. So let's start by taking just a little off the side here. I'm gonna measure this to 3.5. See how that looks. That looks great at 3.5 wide. And now I'm going to take a little off the top. And I'm going to cut this 4 inches long. I cut it a little more than 4 so I can take a little bit more off the top. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So I now have my stamped image ready to go. I'm going to use my sponge that you have in your kit. I'm going to use a fresh one actually. I'm not sure what I colored with that one. I get my, that's what Gina K calls it, huh? Okay. My Chucky. And Gina K would know. Okay, when I have a little piece of dauber paper ready, because I'm going to dip this in my ink and then I'm going to pounce most of it off and I'm just going to lightly swirl around my image because I want to add a little color. I'm going to dip it again, pounce most of the ink off, and come around and do this corner. Just inking it lightly. Just a little nice soft color around. Be sure you pounce it off or you can get color darker than you want. Sometimes I get color darker than I want anyway, but use a light hand and just color in softly around your image. You can do this before you cut it off, which will save your table. Oops, see, I got a little mark there that's a little darker than I want, but it'll be okay. Okay. I'm going to try taking one of my baby wipes. Do this with care if you try it. And I'm going to try and take just a little ink off. Well, I did get a couple spots darker than I wanted. And that works a little bit as long as you don't overwork it. If you overwork it, you can rough up your cardstock, and then it's a net loss.
Yeah.
But you can lift a little bit of the color since it's water-based color. I'm using a red Zig Clean Color marker. I know Margie isn't particularly fond of my red on here. I actually kind of like the red on here. I think it's bright and unexpected and nice. Color in my red bow. These little brush markers give you really nice control over your coloring. And this has enough, this stamped image has enough pleating lines in the bow that it actually is shades itself with the marks on the paper, which is nice. Okay, so I've got my bow in, which really kind of takes away from my darker edge there. Now I'm going to put this back in my platform, and I'm going to stamp my Merry Christmas right into the middle of my wreath. I get my Merry Christmas die. I'm going to position it on my paper wrong side up, right where I want it to be, where it's going to be nice and straight. And I'm going to grab my black pad again. I'm going to bring that down. Am I doing a better job of working in the center where you guys can see me now? Now I've got my Merry Christmas in. Okay, there we go. Set this aside till we need it again. And we're going to cut a piece of our, what did I got in my hand? Something oily. Maybe it was actually off my baby wipe. I'm going to put this on my mirror board. Now, if you wanted to measure this, you'd be measuring a piece that's just 1/4 of an inch larger in both directions. I'm just going to walk around it because that's what I do. But put some tape on it. Tape's better than glue because I'm gluing to Mary. And I'm going to give myself a little 1/8 inch border on 2 sides when I put this down. Then I'll use my scissors and I'll cut my other 2 borders. There we go. We've got our topper made. Go ahead. We've got it right here, and we will put some foam squares on it. So that piece will be all ready to go. The foam squares in your kit are by Hunky Dory, and they're the 5x5x2s. I'm using the hobby journal just because I had some open here on my desk, and I can use this other pack in a kit. I don't need to break into it just because it's there. These are 3mm foam squares. Mine might sit just a little bit higher than yours does. These hobby journal ones are actually really good foam squares too, and they are a little bit less expensive than the Hunky Dory. They only come in 5x5, so that's the only downside. So if you like what are you guys thinking of the variety packs? Have you guys tried some of those from the variety packs of the foam squares where we sent you the kit? You know, a lot of you bought them, the variety packs where you got all the different styles of foam squares. And if so, what are you liking to use? Whoops, that was stupid. Okay, let's get my card covered here. I'm going to cover my 5x7 card in some silver mirror board. Much better in position, but still could move more towards my left. Okay. There we go. Thank you, Thelma. Good to see you out there, friend. Yeah, I'm glad you guys tell me when I get kind of discombobulated and move around out of camera view or slightly out of camera view. That's just not good. You like the different sizes for the different ones? Yeah, I have to admit it, I think my favorite is the 1/2-inch ones. I really, really like those. Hi, Roberta. You got Debbie and Margie today. Welcome. Yeah, I understand what you mean, Diane. I got some of those extra, extra large hands too. That's why I was impressed that I could get my fingers in those little tiny snips. If you didn't get our kit for Saturday, and that's the one I'm saying, that one is sold out. I scared everybody in this class and told them the other one was sold out. If you didn't get the Saturday class, so you get some of these little snips, these are a really fun tool, and they're less than $3, and they're just cool. Get yourself a pair of snips when you order, you know, and one of those times when you're like $2.50 from free shipping, toss in a pair of snips, because those are just a neat little tool. And I have very large hands. My mom used to tell me I had piano players' hands, pianist's hands, because my fingers didn't used to be as wide as they are now, but I could reach more than an octave on a keyboard.
Yeah.
Piano players would envy those hands, she said. Okay, I'm going to take this piece of gray paper, and I'm actually going to cut this on my machine, because when you tear them, you risk that you tear into the paper. And I love this paper. It's not printed on particularly heavy stock. In fact, when I first pulled it out of the pack, I thought, man, that feels like newsprint. But I don't care what it's printed on. It's really, really beautiful patterns on this paper. Now, if you wanted to do this project and you did not want to stamp, look what they gave us. You could Does it also show you what you'd get if you do that in the blues? But anyway, I love this paper. I think the paper is absolutely stunning. Now my card, it's always good to measure, but I do know that these cards are true 5x7. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to cut myself a piece that is 4 3/4 wide, going top to bottom on my paper. 4 3/4 wide by 6 3/4 long. I'm going to check it against my outside edge.
Sharma says she'll make sure to let you know when you get cattywampus.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Where does that word even come from? My mom used that word all the time, and I started using it, but I have no idea what it means other than discombobulated, which I also don't know what that means. I could be swearing or saying something really gross and not know it. By the way, I apologize to any of you who may be coming into our videos and see that non-coffee ad that they're running before our videos. That is not my choice, guys. In fact, if they keep running that ad, I may just pull ads off. I'm looking for a place in YouTube to complain about that. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. He's holding a coffee cup that has an expletive all but one letter.
Oh, no.
He's saying F coffee. And I don't like that. That should not be in front of my videos. So I'm sorry if you've seen that. I am going to complain about it and try and get that moved off my videos. But anyway, if you've seen it, just know I've seen it too. I'm unhappy about it. And if it offends you, I'm sorry. I've seen it several times now. They seem to be really running it a lot. And I'm not happy about it. So I don't have anything to do with the ads that they place other than the fact that I allow them to do it. And it makes me about $1.50 a month. But if they keep running that ad, I'll pull my ads for a while and not expose you to that, because that just is not right. That's just not right. Yeah, I'm sorry in advance, because you probably will see it. They are just running that thing all the time, and it really, really annoys me. So I'm done with my soapbox now, but I did want to tell you I don't have anything to do with that, guys, and I wouldn't have anything to do with that. I won't talk like that on my show, and I won't support other people doing it.
Alice asked if there were any downloadable printable papers.
Not in this kit. The only one I know of that consistently does that, I'm using there's darker and lighter snowflakes in this ring. Mine are all pretty dark because I stamped it twice, but there's darker and lighter ones. And I'm going to put my bigger stones in the middle of the darker ones to kind of lighten those up a little bit. And then I'm going to kind of decorate around a little bit with the others. Yeah. Tattered Lace is the only one I know of that is consistently offering really nice download paper. So kudos to Tattered Lace for doing that. I would have loved if this was a downloadable pack, because I love the papers they put in here. They're beautiful. This snowflake pattern and that corresponding gray, beautiful, beautiful. Those would not be colors I would normally gravitate to, but I love them. I think they're beautiful. I think I'm going to actually go ahead and put the medium size stones in the center of all of my snowflakes on this wreath. I've decided that.
Well, it also is, you can pull from this and it's not just a Christmas theme, it's winter.
Yeah, that's true. It's all wintry, isn't it? Yeah, true statement, Margie. Ooh, look how that lightens that up already, just putting those in there. And now I'm going to take some of the smaller ones. I'm going to go to my background paper and I'm just going to add some of these little ones. We have tons of these little ones on the sheet, and why not use them? You know, I'm going to put them in the centers where I see the centers of my snowflakes on my background papers because that's pretty. And why not give it that extra bit of glitter? Because we can. I think if we can, we should. Because that's our, you know, it's Christmas. We have an excuse for glitter and glitz and glamour. Not that I really need an excuse. I seem to manage to get it in most of the time. But, you know. When COVID first came out, there was this little thing circulating when COVID first started going around.
I have it on my phone.
This little thing that went around, the glitter one. I can't remember exactly what it says, but it was something like COVID is like crafting. If one person at the table uses glitter, how many people get glitter? It's COVID. That was nasty, but it actually was pretty funny. If one person at the table has glitter, how many get glitter? Wasn't that the gist of it?
Yeah. Say hello to Andrea.
Hi, Andrea. Welcome, friend. Ooh, now look at that. Now we got those little sparkles in our background. And I'm going to wait to do this since I'm using more stones than I did in my original. But I think we should go back in and put little stones around some of these. But let's wait and make sure we have plenty of stones to do everything first, right? Card 2 is officially finished. Excuse me?
If you got the accessory second kit, then you could always, if you don't have...
Speak up too, because they don't hear you as well on this one.
Because just in case you are shy on stones, if you can use your moonstone paste for some of those as well, and they will bounce off of each other.
Good point, Margie. Thank you for adding that. Yeah, I noticed when I was listening to the video from last week that you don't pick up quite as well as you used to with our settings, maybe because that's so far away. I have a loud voice. We should move that closer to you because
it's forward facing, so
yeah,
I'm having to get around it.
Okay. Anyway, I like it when you can chime in because you always have good ideas for people. All right. We're going to do something different today. I hope that some of you haven't seen this before because this is really cool and it's fun and we just have to do it. We're going to make our backgrounds for these cards. Okay? Watch what we're going to do, guys. It's fun. It's fun. Now, a word of caution. Your thundercloud stamp pad is very, very juicy. We don't want this to be super duper juicy over our embossed areas. So use a light hand. Use a light hand with this part. I need my card. In fact, it wouldn't hurt. I gave you just what you needed to do your kits, but it wouldn't hurt to have a few extra pieces of cardstock handy when you do this technique. 1, 2, 3. I'm short a piece of cardstock anyway. Could you get me some more of this? So it won't hurt to have a little extra available. What you're going to do?
One of those is an inspiration card, isn't it? When you're counting out your 3.
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's what it is. Thank you.
I did not make you a secondary pack of that.
Thank you. Yep. Okay. So we are going to take our embossing folder, lay it out. Oh, that's a good idea, Mary. Arwin Costello would be good too. Or your quickie glue pen and your super fine glitter from Simply Special would be another one. we're taking our ink pad, guys, directly to our embossing folder. I know you say we're going to mess it up. Yes, we are, and we're going to have fun doing it. Now, when you're outside of the patterned area, then you can kind of streak it. But over the patterned area, just use a light hand because we don't want to have lots of really dark inky areas picking up from sliding this over the embossed area. Do you know what I mean? I hope I'm getting clear. Because we don't want to catch extra ink all in and around those embossed areas. So I want you to cover your embossing folder with ink. And if you see any little places where your ink pad sheds wool or you have any little fibers or anything, take those off before we work because that will come out dark too. Come over here to this side, do the same thing. Streak it in between. Come over here to this corner. Pat it down on my snowflakes. Pat it over my snowflakes.
Roberta says that you, if you're going to do the quickie glue with the fine glitter, it says, and you duster. You
okay.
Just throw it on and dust it.
I covered my embossing folder in the middle with a layer of ink. I'm getting my embossing pad ready to go here. Got my sandwich ready. Gonna run this through my machine. And look what we get. Use the side you like the best. If it doesn't, I actually think I didn't get quite enough on this side and I got kind of splotchiness on the other side. So I'm going to try, we'll see what happens. This is kind of a trial and error process, but it's beautiful when it works out right. Actually, no, I'm not going to do it again. I'm going to get my little pouncer. I'm going to get this and I'm going to fix my finish in the middle because I love the snowflakes on this one. See that? I kind of got an uneven coat in the middle, but I love the snowflakes. Isn't that beautiful? So I'm going to get this.
Streaking looks very reminiscent of some of the oxidized styles.
I get a little piece of scratch paper here. And I'm just going to blend in some ink here and there. It is kind of, if you like it just the way it is, that's cool. I just don't like some of it being quite as light as it is. So I'm gonna pounce in a little bit more of my ink. And I'm just gonna come in here and use my little sponge and my pad and just bring some more swirly kind of stuff in here. If you liked it just the way, I mean, Margie's saying she kind of liked it, the kind of oxidized look to it. I just wanted a little bit more even coverage. So I'm coming in and so there's a couple choices there. And as you practice with this technique, you can get better and better at creating these backgrounds. But is that fabulous or what? Isn't that fun? Have you guys done this before? Put your put ink right on your embossing folder. I've seen it done lots of times. To tell you the truth, I've only used it. Isn't that fun? I love the way that it that around the snowflakes it's white and it has that beautiful streaky color in the middle. I just thought it was really fun. So I'm going to, let's see, these are going to be on European A6 cards. So I'm going to get myself out a piece of European A6 cardstock. I'm going to need a silver one. What?
Roberta had, or Mariana had a question. Roberta, could you add a light touch of adhesive to the embossed images and then, when dry, stick foil to it, sort of like what we did with the gilding flakes?
You know, you could try it. The one thing I would say is that if you used like the best glue ever, you really, really are going to want to have some best glue ever adhesive remover. And you're going to have to wash that really good not to corrupt your embossing folder doing that. But why not? I mean, you could try it. You can try anything, guys. That's the beauty of crafting, isn't it? I mean, we're creating art. We are just creating art. Okay, so I'm going to fold this. I'm going to cover my card. We're going to do some more of these because our other two are using the same technique. In fact, in my samples, this one, I corrected the same way I'm correcting this one. With the little swirlies in the center. These, I let just streak. So you kind of get a different, and you get a different view depending on whether you're using the embossed or the debossed side. You can use either side you like better. I happen to really like the side that we're using, but you can use either side of this that you think turns out better, which is the beauty of doing both sides at one time. So this is fun. Let's go ahead and cover our card. We'll finish this one up, and then we're going to do another two like that, or one for now, and then let's see, is it one? Yeah, 1, 2. No, we're doing 2 more. And which one are we? We are actually wrapping a ribbon around us too, so I need to not lose track of the fact that I want to put a ribbon on this. So let me stick some ribbon here. I'm going to give this to you. You can give it back to Brittany, or otherwise I'll end up grabbing them and using them. Okay. Margie put our kits together for this today. Thank you, Margie. Was yesterday your first full day back? It was, right? I mean, you've been, let's see, you were here Thursday for a shorter time. Yeah. But yesterday she was here all day, and man, I worked her socks off, but I think she's showing signs I worked her socks off, so we're going to take it a little easier. I think we overdid it maybe just a little bit. Okay. All right. So I'm going to trim this down a bit. Okay, there we go. We've got our card covered with our silver Mary. We know that our card is 4 1/8 by 5 7/8 because that's what we use, and that's what we get from Craft Style for our European A6s. I'm going to start by trimming right along my borders, although I do know that this layers nicely. I'm going to hold back just a little on my trimming until I see how everything looks. I'm just going right along my ink edges right now. Then I'll hold it up and see how much more I want to trim. Oh, I got almost a perfect tiny border there, but I think I'd like a little bit more border to show. I mean, you're paying for the Mary board. Let's Let's let a little bit more of that show. So I'm going to come in just a little bit more. Trim these just a little closer. See how we're doing now. Oh, I think I'm liking that just the way it is. Maybe just a tad.
Lovely compliments.
What kind of compliments are we getting?
Sarah said that she has learned so much from Simply
Oh.
Special Craft Gang in this community.
Yay!
And Alice said me too, and Andrea said me three.
Oh, yay!
And then Roberta recommended maybe trying the Nuvo glue pin for the foil.
Okay, that's a great idea. Yeah. All right. I'm going to take about a 6-inch piece of ribbon, just a small piece is all it's going to take to get this done. I'm going to put my tape on the back of it. And it doesn't really matter which tape I use as long as it's one of the narrow ones, which usually ends up being the hunky-dory because it's the narrowest. And let's lay out some tape over our ribbon. Rub it on good to our ribbon so we get a nice smooth finish. Okay. And we're going to peel back both directions. And I'm going to put this ribbon across right here, right at the bottom of this strip, kind of covering actually a little bit of that snowflake at the bottom of my larger snowflake panel. Rub that out as much as I can so we get that nice, smooth, beautiful, satiny finish there. That looks good. We're going to go ahead and put that down. Isn't that looking nice? I like the silver and this stormy, whatever it is, thundercloud kind of color.
It looks more, it doesn't show up quite as much here, I think, but it has a bluish tint to it.
It does. It has kind of a blue-green tint, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Blue-green with a little gray in it.
Yeah.
So it's not an aqua. It definitely is in the gray family, but it has a blue-green cast to it, which is very pretty. You know, I don't, yeah. And the other thing with the Nouveau pen, I was just thinking about, you could use the Nouveau pen just over the raised areas and not get it in your folder at all, guys. You know? Yeah, I think that's what I see Roberta and Mary talking about. And I think that actually makes some sense to try that first, just so you don't get glue down in that folder. Because it's a gorgeous folder and we don't want to mess it up too much. I mean, this ink I put in, this will scrub right out. I have a fingernail brush in my bathroom here in the shop, and I will run in and, yes, I should have used tape flags. I didn't. I'll run in and scrub that down with just a little bit of hand soap and scrub that off, and it will be clean and beautiful again and ready for doing other projects when we're done. There we go. Okay, now we need a few gems, because what's life without gems? That'd be a quote to be known for, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
You know, it's probably going to end up on one of those quote forms one of these days. Debbie says, "What's life without gems?" I'm going to use some mediums around the edge here. I actually really like the way there's a little heart-shaped pattern in the snowflake. Let me show you up close. See the little heart-shaped pattern in the snowflake? I'm putting the gem right into this, above the center of that heart. And then I'm going to put a little gem right on the little tip of the snowflake. It just gives a really nice balance. I played all different kinds of ways putting the gems on here the other night, and that's what I decided I liked. Right above the little, right at the top of that little heart. Oops, I just scuffed off my adhesive, I think. Time to get the glue bottle, which I left open. You can't get away with anything when you're live, you know. You silly and leave the glue bottle open. You got to get the pen out over and over again because you're silly enough not to close the glue bottle.
Do you need me to grab you a new glue bottle?
No, I'm fine. I just need to clear the channel because I do silly things like leave them open. Okay. We've all done that though. I know you guys do it too, so I don't feel so bad. You never do that, do you, Margie?
Oh, all the time. Andrew says a little sparkle makes me smile. Mary R said that it's very lacy and feminine. Ever use stays on the embossing folder? Roberta asks.
I would not put stays on the embossing folder. I don't think, because stays on would stain it. You know, it's waterproof. So cleaning it up, unless you have some stays on cleaner right there, cleaning it might be hit and miss, you know. But then again, it's your folder. If you'd like to use stays on, I think you could, but it will mess up your folder because it is a permanent ink. These are water-based inks, so we can wash them right off. It's just a lot easier to clean up, I think. Look at that snowflake now. And you can put it on as many or as few as you want to. I think I'll put at least one stone in the center of my other snowflakes here, just because, at least the bigger ones, maybe not the tiniest ones, but the bigger ones, gets one medium in the middle. Now let's get our snowflakes that Margie cut for us. And we're going to add one to the bottom and one to the top. You could layer this one on the bottom if you were inclined to do that. I'm going to put, now this one will not be a problem to glue down because we're not right on top of the Mary this time. So this should glue down and behave nicely. I'm going to run my glue right out to the ends because I want those ends of my snowflakes to behave nicely. How's my time, Margie?
You are at 5:35.
5:35, so I've got about 25 minutes left.
Sharma says you are the gem in our Thursday and Saturday class.
Oh, thank you. There are those who would say I'm the Jen in our classes. The stubborn one. It could either be the Jen as in Jenny or the Jen as in evil magician. I think that's what I am on Wednesdays, right? The evil magician tempting you to buy. Buy. All right, let's get our stamp pad out of here, or our stamp platform out of here again.
Roberta Emma is doing well. Thank you for asking. She uses her school workbooks every day.
Oh, look at how neat. Okay, I'm going to stamp onto this little piece of leftover card because why not? Perfect for greetings. I'm going to stamp right here into the corner. I'm going to use this thundercloud color. That Emma's such a little firecracker. She cracks me up. And boy, Lily is coming right along behind her. That Lily is just, Margie shows me pictures and videos of Lily regularly. She's a proud grandma. I see pictures of that Lily, and I'm telling you that she is a doll in the making too. She is so very cute. Both those girls. Margie is blessed. And those kids are blessed because Margie's a really, really, really good grandma. Very participative, very active with them. Spends a lot of time with them. They are lucky little girls, both of them. I'm going to trim this a little bit closer, I think. I don't, because I've got that beautiful ribbon there. I want my greeting, but I don't want my greeting to be too long. So I'm trimming it pretty close all the way around. Now, because this is not set on mirror board or any other way of finishing it off, I'm going to take my thundercloud and I'm just going to go around the edges to give this a little dark edge that matches my stamping. Just a nice little edge there to make that stand out from the ribbon. That's pretty. I gotta say, it's pretty. And we're gonna go ahead, put some foam squares on this as soon as I figure out what I've done with them yet again. You know, I need to have a place I just always put my foam squares.
Is your big old thing on your desk not good enough?
Brittany says, it's that big old thing you have, that big old canister you have on your desk. Is that not big enough to do that? Do you see the abuse I put up with, guys? Do you hear it from all corners? I kind of ask for it too, though. Really, I do.
Sometimes. But sometimes it's hard to remember where you put something too.
Oh, it's easy when you're shuffling the papers all over the desk. I lose them all the time. Okay. Oops, let's not put it on the one that's done. How about we put it on the one that's not done? That would be nice, wouldn't it? I'm going to set this in just a little bit from the edge. I need a few more gems for my... gems.
Roberta said Lily must be getting big, and Lily is getting big, and she has learned that she can tease. So she will go and pretend like she's going to reach out for you, and then she pulls her arm back, and she does this, and she laughs. She turns her head away, and then laughs. Say hello to Annette.
Hello, Annette. We're making beautiful snowflakes. Beautiful ones. Now I'm putting rhinestones. I'll show you here momentarily. I'm putting some rhinestones on this cutout one because it was jealous of the one above that had all the pretty finery. I just felt like it needed some too. So I'm putting medium size in the middle, right in the middle of that snowflake. And now I'm going to grab some of these little tiny ones and put right out on the tip of that snowflake. Right out to the tip. We're making a pretty good dent in this sheet of gems, I gotta say. But like Margie said, we actually have plenty of other backup. If you got the accessory kit, you have lots of glittery material available to you. All right. Oops, let's get it over here. That's what I just did to that snowflake there. Let's back up and take a look at the card as a whole. How beautiful is that? You can use as many gems as you like.
Annette
Beautiful.
Big David grandbabies.
Oh, what fun. Okay, this is done. So we have now completed 3 out of 4. Let's get our last one done. And with the accessory one, I think I can either talk you through it or I can do a little video for you. Which would you prefer, guys? That we talk through it or we do a video on it? We may be able to put them together quickly, but that's going to run longer. So you have to tell me what you want to do. Okay, this is our accessory one. So this one, we need a bow. Here, you can put my best glue ever on. I'll tie it. You can put my best glue ever on it if you will. And we'll get that going while I do this, while I keep going. All right, so we got 4, 5, 4, 4. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch our bow tying videos. We're using the Embellishment Attic bow maker, and I'm telling you guys, this is just the best tool. These guys out here on the video will tell you it's the best tool. It's ridiculously priced for a little piece of plastic. I acknowledge that, but it's what they cost. It just is. And but it is totally worth it. Totally and completely worth the asking price for these beautiful bow makers. Now, this is double-sided satin. It's a heavier ribbon. Pull it tight. You might want to think about, if you're not using your bow immediately, you might want to think about Margie's tip of putting a little bit of your finger lift tape right in the bow while you're tying it. Let's tie. Let's cut some whale tails in this, Margie, and leave about beyond the edge of the bow. Let's leave about 1 inch. So cut some whale tails and some best glue ever. All right, let's go ahead and get going here. Now, I want to stamp another Merry Christmas. Let's get that going. Since I already have it all set up and ready to go here, we'll just pop another piece of paper in here. See what I did again, guys? Right there. Left that cap off again. I'll probably have to use a pen again. I wouldn't have to do that all the time if I would just use some sense about getting the caps back on things. Okay. My little Merry Christmas done. Now this time, I made the Merry Christmas a little bit wider. You know, I left more space on either side because I really liked the way that plaid played with this. And I wanted to show more of that plaid. So I'm going to leave a little more room around this time. Oh, excuse me. The pause that refreshes. So trim that Merry Christmas tag down just a bit, leaving a little longer edges this time. Got a little close on top, but it'll be fine. And trim the bottom a little closer because I made the top a little close, but that's all right. All right, I'm going to back that in some of our beautiful plaid paper from our paper pack. Let's see what I've got here. Where's my plaid paper? Where is my plaid paper? That's different paper. Oh, here we go. Plaid paper. over here. Yep, there it is. You get lots of paper in this kit, guys. Lots and lots of paper. All right. I'm going to just glue this on here and kind of cut it out. But I'm going to finish on this end where I've already cut it. Retain paper. I'm sorry, Sharma. We'll pray too. Okay. Here we go. I put this right down there. I'm going to cut across here. Cut it up here. And I'll straighten it up a little bit when I get it out of the paper. Okay. Let me cut this down just a tad. I got it a little overboard, got it a little extra wide. And there we go. There's my tag all ready to go. My Merry Christmas. Margie's working on the bow. We need to make another one of our embossing folder. Projects. There's my foam squares I couldn't find earlier under the embossing folder. Let's get our thundercloud pad out again. We need a piece of our working paper. We're going to tap, tap, tap over the snowflakes. Let me just tap over the whole thing and see if I get a little more uniform color. I don't know, just experimenting. You guys don't mind if I experiment on you, do you? Although I have to admit, I really kind of like that streaky finish I got in the one. So I'm going to kind of streak that just a little. Then I'm going to look it over. I'm going to make sure that I don't have any stray fibers there, because those stray fibers can be problematic. I'm going to tap over the other side, because we're going to use the side we like the best. The good news is we get two choices. See, there's some of that stray fiber showing up there. You got to pick those out because they will definitely show up when you get your, and I think that these hunky-dory pads shed a little bit. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but I've noticed it, that they shed a little more than I think they should. We chose to carry the hunky-dory because we carry all the rest of their products, and it seemed like a nice addition to the product line. But I have to say that I think over time we will switch to distress pads, because nobody does it better than Ranger, really. So I really think that we may start the transition soon. I've spent enough money right now. Getting a whole range of Ranger pads just isn't in the budget right this second. But I think over time we're going to switch and start carrying Ranger distress pads, and we'll close out our hunky-dory, because they're just not quite as good, I don't think. Okay, I've got my, I can kind of get a preview of what I'm going to get right through the embossing folder. See there? Let's get our embossing pad and our plates out here. do with my hot plate? Oh, it's on the bottom. Okay. I'm gonna run this through. Run. My desk a little bit for my inking job here. Gotta love water-based pads just because you can do stuff like this. Clean up your workspace. Let's see what this is. Kind of like Christmas opening this up. Ooh, that's pretty. And I actually do kind of like that. Let's see what ooh, this side's even prettier though. Look at that side, guys. Isn't that beautiful? Wowzer, I love that. This is the side I'm using this time. Isn't that pretty? I want that one. Okay, so here we go. We are going to, I will show you what I meant about not getting too carried away with your, well, I'll show you two things on here. See how there's, I'm showing you my imperfections. Nobody else will ever see yours, but I want to show you mine so you know what I'm looking for. See that little dark spot right there in the snowflake? That's where I kind of got a little carried away with the amount of ink I got in it. See there? And the little, see the little where a fiber was laying right there in the corner? Now I'm going to cut that off so nobody's going to see that. But can you see that right at the top? There was a little fiber laying there, and I had a little speck off my pad right there. So everything shows when you do this. So you want to make sure you pick off the extras to the extent that you can. And then, you know, some of it's just going to be a natural effect too. So, okay. We're going to cover our last A6 card. Let's get that out. There's my A6. There's my Silver Mary. I'm going to cover this card. Which can be done very quickly, fortunately. Yeah, I think distress pads still are the way to go. So before too long, we'll close out our hunky-dory and I'll order in the distress pads, but it's going to take a capital investment, so I will have to wait until we recover from our Christmas expenditures too. Oh, Hunky Dory just keeps coming out with more and more and more Christmas. My goodness, there are some beautiful things coming, though. They won't all be in this shipment. We have a second shipment coming our way from Hunky Dory that has just some amazing things in it.
That will not end up sitting at the dock waiting.
I hope not.
Right?
I spent about a half an hour last night between 2 and 3 in the morning. Well, somewhere in that time frame, talking to 2 different people in shipping and the president of Hunky Dory about what we can do to clean up this shipping operation here, because I had just had enough and I felt like it was time for a group powwow. So I think we're going to try a different carrier, and hopefully that will help not have my pallets sitting on the dock accruing shipping or storage fees when we need the stuff here. There we go. That looks great. Look how pretty that is. I just got to say that again. Look at that. Isn't that just beautiful?
The way that streaking works makes it almost look like
sky or suede, yeah.
That kind of has the little
a suede-y look, yeah.
Almost like a linen.
Both sides are pretty. This side's pretty too. It's hard to cover it up, but the good news is that you get to choose the side you like the best if you just put the ink on both sides. And, you know, candidly, it's costing us very little to do both sides at once. So why not just...
Mary R says that you must be elated, Brittany, because of a lot of your bargains have sold out.
I like it.
Can you hear her? She's saying, yes, I like it. And she needs space. She needs the space. Brittany's not always here when Britt's bargain goes up, so she never really knows what she offered sometimes. Most of the time, she actually consults and picks them out. And she actually told me to do this one a couple of weeks ago, but she didn't know the extent to which I would go. And she's shrugging and saying, that's okay. We love our crafty family, Sharma. That's the nice thing. You can ask for prayers and support in this group, and we are absolutely... oh, yeah, I didn't have a wraparound ribbon. I pulled that off and thought, did I have a wraparound ribbon? But I didn't. Okay. Oh, that's so pretty already. Okay, what did I do with my little tag I just made? There it is. We have this. How's our bow doing over there?
It's
Margie, is it clear?
Here.
Is it clear yet?
It's looking mostly clear. Oh,
yeah, we still got a few.
Got in it. Sorry.
We still got a few little white spots. We'll let that sit for a while. We may stick it on here just to show you what it looks like. You know, it always takes a while for that best glue to dry.
I did little tiny dots hoping that it would dry quickly.
Okay. And get our foam squares on the back of here. Now this is lightweight paper, and if you wanted to, you could certainly put this plaid on top of cardstock and, you know, make this tag a heavier one. I didn't, but you could. And if you thought this card was going to have a lot of handling, it probably would be a good way to go. I do adore our crafty family, I have to say. You guys are just the best. I feel like you're my friends all over the country, you know? It's wonderful. Okay. All right. Oops, let's put the tag on right side up. That's always fun. Okay, I'm going to put my Merry Christmas right here, sort of right in the middle, really. I'm going to go ahead and give that just an extra minute. I'll put my gems on. I'm going to do 3 at the bottom. And we'll do 3 at the top. And I'm using the big ones. Why? Because I have more of the big ones available. That's the truth. But I also think they look really nice. It just really, really catches and brings in a lot of light to this, which is pretty. I'm going to use one big one right in the middle of this big snowflake. I'm going to use some of my mediums again, right above that heart, like I did before. Right above that heart. Right above that heart. oops, wrong heart. Go down. Right above that heart. Right above that heart. I have to kind of squeeze that one in. Actually, I gotta glue that one in because I just peeled the backer off of it. Right above that heart. And right above that heart. And what is that?
I don't know, but it's addressed to both of us.
Oh, well, open it up. I just got a box addressed to Margie and Debbie.
It says perishable. So
It says perishable.
It's not like something that's live that can jump out at me.
Which is why you opened it.
The box will fly, people.
Okay. Ooh, look how pretty that is. Oh my gosh. Look how pretty this is getting to be already. Okay, we'll put a gem down here in the corner. Ooh, is that Ferrero Rocher? Oh my gosh, that's good stuff. Wow, sir, who's that from?
There is no identifying markers. However, I can make a guess.
Who said Ferrero Rocher, guys? Somebody did, and he didn't put a card in. Is there nothing there? Look at this beautiful box. Oh my gosh. Somebody knows Margie and I love chocolate. There's nothing that says, huh?
No.
Okay, fess up, guys. Somebody sent this beautiful box of chocolates. It's gorgeous. Thank you very much. We are both avid chocolate fans.
And how can you time it like this?
Yeah, it arrives right during class time. Okay, somebody's got to fess up. How can I thank you if you don't fess up? It makes us feel loved, though. Thank you very much for your kindness.
They look yummy.
It looks beautiful. Well, I think you should crack that open, too.
Are you saying that you could ruin your dinner?
Have you ever seen me ruin my dinner? Really? I mean, think about who you're talking to here. Have you ever seen me ruin my dinner? Okay, we're going to take our bow. We're going to kind of angle it right across the top of our tag here. And we are finished. How beautiful is that, guys? How beautiful is that? Oh my goodness. So we got this card done. So we finished all 4 of our class cards. Oh my gosh. Oh, Roberta says that is dinner now. I like the way you think, Roberta. I've gotten Krispy Kremes from you before, my friend Mary R. Yes, when it's KK, it's Krispy Kremes. It's from Mary. Let's take a look at what we've made today. And then we have to make a decision about what we're going to do with our other 2. We can't just talk through them. I think we're fine doing that. Let's take a look. Do you want to do that? Do you want to just talk through them, or you want me to make them and put them on a video? Here is, well, let's look at our ones we finished for this class first, because we did do everything we were scheduled to do in class. we have this beautiful thing that we created. And I'll hold these for a minute so you guys can get a really good view of where the rhinestones and stuff are, how everything lays out. So we did this one. We did this one that we just now finished. It's gorgeous. Oh my gosh, I love these cards. Make them, please. Okay. If you guys, I will make them, and then if you guys, we actually have some extra gems we can put on this one. But let's finish our other cards first. But I'm going to put more gems on this one. Here's my, okay. So we made this one. Put the candy closer so I can sniff it. Well, we don't have smell-o-vision. Yeah, some of them might be on television, but we don't have smell-o-vision. But I can give you I can take a bite and give you a summary.
Let's not.
I'm gonna. Brittany says, oh, let's not. Okay, here's our 2 cards left. We have this one. It's gorgeous. Mary R says, I don't have a curfew tonight. And we have this one. Wowzer. Ask Debbie where the binder clips are. I looked high and low and could not find. That's because I don't have them on the site. But if you want me to get some binder clips, I actually can. Do we not have any on the site? Or do we have some on the site? Brittany's looking for you, Roberta. If we don't have them, I'll put some up because I'm sure I have some. Okay, here we go. All right, if we're going to make them, let's get to it.
Well, then let you get some extras.
Yeah, we're going to need some extra supplies. Margie's going to pull a few things here for me. I need 2 sheets of mirror. I actually have 1 extra Mary from the class because you cut my snowflakes. So I need an A6 silver Mary. And I have, do I have enough? No, I need, I think I might need an extra A6. So get me 2 A6 silver or whatever size you have handy and I can use those. I just we didn't make me a kit for the second part since I already had my paste. And I'm going to need, that's just papers, paste. I think that's all I need. And then I'm going to need another little strip of ribbon. I'm going to need maybe, I'm just going to need about 8 inches of ribbon. And that's it. Because I already have everything else. Okay, let's look at our paper we made in the beginning. Looky here, how beautiful that is. Now, this would be even better, truly, on cardstock, but I just made it on this paper, and it's beautiful. You get a little bit of waving in this, but I'm just going to use the part that's not wavy because I only need a small piece of this. Okay, all right, here we go. Let's get to it.
2 A6s, and you need a little bit of silver, right?
A little bit of silver. 2, yeah, I think I need 2 A6s in silver.
Okay.
And then I need 8 inches of silver ribbon. 2 A6s in silver mirror boarded.
The only ones that we have are teeny tiny little gold mini clips.
Oh, why don't we, when Margie gets back, we'll have Margie link those for us. So maybe you can write down the number for Margie so she can look it up and she can link them for Roberta for the tiny binder clips. Okay, let's see. We're going to want a piece of this plaid paper. I'm going to go ahead and cut this down while I'm waiting for my mirror board. Okay, I've got this beautiful plaid. I love this plaid. Is that just like gorgeous? Okay, we are going to, thank you. There's my ribbon. All right, we're going to cut this plaid paper since I know that my card is 4 1/8 inches wide, and I know that it is 5 7/8 long. I want a 1/4 inch border, so I'm going to make this 3 7/8 inches long and 5 5/8 inches wide. And this should be a good fit for this. Did you find the silver Mary, Margie?
I just added it to.
Oh, here. Look up, Deborah. Yeah, that's going to be a perfect fit on our card. So let's cover our card with some mirror board. This is actually going to be a really fast card to do. The only slow part is waiting for this paste to dry. And I will say this paste dries pretty fast. It's not instant by any stretch of the imagination because you're making bubbles of that paste. So it's not instant, but you know, an hour or so, it's pretty dry. One of the heartfelt ones Debbie just got in. One of the heartfelt ones? Binder clips? Heartfelt binder clips.
Let me see if that's.
I'm not sure what you're talking about, Roberta. I'm having a brain fart.
I think it might be the binder.
Oh, the binder itself?
Talking about the 8x8.
Are you talking about the 8x8 book?
Need them for a photo book.
Are you? Yes. Is that yes that you're talking about the 8x8 binder? Not binder clips. Binder. Binder. That's what she's talking about. Okay. You're linking that for Margie.
I can pull that up.
Thank you. It's called Insta Album.
Mm-hmm.
If you put in Insta, I think you'll be able to bring it up. Insta Album. Thank you. Sorry, I just get confused sometimes. I know. How dare me. All right. This is beautiful paper. I love this paper. And I love the fact that they gave us the equivalent of 2 packets of paper in our magazine. How nice. She needs binder clips for making the album. Are you talking binder clips for making the album? Are you saying clips to hold stuff in place? I have the album. I need the clips.
Okay. Well, we do have some.
Okay.
Little ones.
Yeah, they're little gold mini clips.
Little gold mini clips.
Okay. We're going to link you to what we have in mini clips. Thank you. I'm sorry if I'm dense. Sometimes I am. Sometimes it takes a while to get through to me. And I apologize for that. Yes, is that a yes? Sometimes I'm dense, Mary. Okay, Stephanie. Nice to have you with us, friend. Yes, the gold ones, Roberta said.
Yes,
Okay, we have those, and we're going to link them for you. Oh, it's kind of reminiscent of how many Simply Special Crafts employees does it take to change a light bulb, you know?
I was not involved with the majority of this conversation.
Brittany's opting out, saying she was only involved in a small way. Oh, there we go. Nope, that's the Viola frame.
Ignore that.
Ignore the frame. I think that's what you asked for during What's New Wednesday. I really want this, guys. It's sitting here in front of me. It must be consumed. I'm only teasing you, Mary R. Oh my gosh, that's good.
Isn't this what you did during your party? Ate food and talked about it?
Yeah.
We ate and described the chocolate flavors.
Yeah. That's exactly what we did. But this is Ferrero Rocher. I do believe my little camera in the corner is frozen, which is just as well when I'm consuming candy, but oh, that's good. That was delicious. It's funny when you can look up and see yourself on the film and see you have stuff stuck to you. Oh, that's delicious. Really, really good. All right. I got my card covered in silver mirror board. I cut down my plaid. Oh, it's good. I mean to tell you, that was good. And I put my 3 little stones on the bottom. I'm going to take this beautiful icy paper we made. That is gorgeous, by the way. Totally gorgeous. And I'm going to cut myself a strip that is...
And it says that she's got a new addiction, these orange covered sticks.
Oh, I like those. Is that the chocolate covered orange sticks or orange covered sticks? Okay, 2 1/4 inches wide by 4 1/4 inches wide. 2 1/4 by 4 1/4. I can do that. Wowzer, that was good. 2 1/4 by 4 1/4. So let me trim my paper down and find the area I want to cut.
Bonus is that she can't make those noises anymore. Shh. Is apparently a no-go.
Okay. Well, I finished the candy, so I think I'm safe. 2 1/4 by 4 1/4. This paper cutter just cuts right through this, which is interesting. And see, I got this beautiful piece cut now. It's beautiful and not ripply. Okay. And 4 1/4. Okay. So here's my piece that's going to go here. I'm going to put that onto a piece of mirror board that would be 2 1/2 by 4 1/2, wouldn't it? Let me just go ahead and cut that. It'll be faster than me trimming it by hand. 2 1/4, 2 1/2 by 4 1/2. If my math serves me correctly, and it did. There we go. Now we got this beautiful combination here of our icy paper from our stencil and our mirror board. We're going to tape that on. The resin stuff is all mine, if you didn't figure that out.
Oh, yeah, no. I abandoned that box as soon as I opened it.
In all my spare time, I want to try some resin art. So I ordered in a bunch of supplies and thought I'd better alert Brittany that she didn't have to list that. That's mine.
It was a big box of 1 of each. I figured I was safe.
Okay. All right. So here we go. Let's center this. Maybe. Center this. Is that going to work? I guess it's going to work. Okay. Center that on my mirror board. Now I've got my beautiful icy paper on Mary. Ooh. Okay. And I'm going to stamp a greeting here. So I need my stamp platform. And then I need my stamps because we're going to use a different greeting this time. I really love this Merry Christmas. You can tell because I used it over and over again. There are so many pretty stamps on this sheet, though, that I want to use. Oh my gosh, they're pretty. I'll show you those again. They're just amazing. We've used a couple, but look at this starburst that you can do coming out from your snowflakes. You've got a beautiful flower and leaf to make Christmas arrangements. Just beautiful. Several different greetings. It's wonderful. Okay, I need a little scrap of cardstock that I can cut off of.
Do you need another one?
No, I'm just making the greeting, so I literally can use a scrap of anything. Here, I retrieved one. All right. Lay out my greeting on my board. Try and make it straight, put it right in the corner. I'll stick a magnet on there in hopes of holding it still. And I will get my hybrid ink pad out here. I'm going to ink that up a bit. Beautiful. I'm going to bring that down and I'm going to stamp that lovely sentiment, which came out absolutely beautifully. Doesn't need to be restamped or anything. It came out really pretty. These are just really nice, clear stamps. Okay, I'll close this up, move it out of the way for a bit. Let's trim this down, and this is going to go on a scrap of this scrap I cut off a minute ago, covering my card, is perfect for backing my greeting. I'm going to cut this greeting down, and it's going to be cut fairly close. I'm going to cut this one fairly close. It's a pretty big greeting. So I cut that pretty close in. Now I'm going to mount that. Oh, you know what? I used black and I was supposed to use the gray. Oh, well, you can do either one. It's actually going to look great anyway. But it would have been nice to use the thundercloud color. But this is fine. I'm going to glue this on as soon as I poke a pin in my left open glue bottle. I'll glue this on. Okay. There we go. I didn't mean to get us into a 3-hour class today, guys, but I really did love working with this kit, and I just couldn't help myself. I just kept making cards. Because you know what that's like when you're having fun. You just got to kind of go with it. And I went with it. And then we ended up with a 6-card class on a Thursday night. Oh, well. Just a little. There we go. So I've got my greeting surrounded by my plaid paper. This plaid paper is just too beautiful. And now I'm going to put that on a scrap of mirror board, and I happen to have a piece of cut off that's just right. So I'm going to put a piece of tape on the back of here, put that down to my mirror. These cards are so pretty, guys. Just wait till you start making them. Oh my gosh.
They're talking about Roberta's making a dragon memory book for her stepbrother who just lost his son.
Well, that's going to be a really wonderful memory for them. Okay, and I'm sure they will be infinitely appreciative for that. Okay, we got our beautiful sentiment mounted on our plaid paper, then mounted on Mary. I think we have all of our pieces now. We're going to need a couple of our snowflakes that Margie cut for us. So get a silver. Oops, that's a gold. Let's get a silver and another small silver because I'm going to layer these up. All right, here we go. Let's put it together. This one goes on some foam squares and gets centered. So let's get some foam squares on the back of here. Oh, you're such an artisan, Roberta. It's going to turn out beautiful. I know it will. And we'll stick some foam squares on here. It's a pretty big piece, so I'm going to put a few. Probably 4 rows of foam squares. That one's not sticky for some reason. I think I just flipped it over. There we go. There we go. There we go. I'll put about 12 foam squares on the back of there. And pop those off quickly. Thank you for the reminder, Andrea. If you guys haven't smashed that like button, I sure would appreciate it if you do that. It helps support our efforts to reach more and more crafty friends because it means that YouTube is more likely to recommend us. But it also makes me feel great. And that's one of the reasons I love it when you do that. Now I'm going to hang this snowflake right off the edge. So I'm going to put glue on the center and 3 of the branches out. Clear out to the end of those. But it's going to actually hang over a bit. So I want to make sure that the edge of my snowflake is still on the card. Is the only thing. I don't want it to get so wide that it gets hung up getting in the envelope. I'm just holding this on here for a second, guys, because I want it to bond good there. All right, I'm going to put a foam square on the bottom of my top layer of my snowflake. I'll pop that off, and I'm going to position this so that it's right in the middle. And the branches of my snowflake, the arms of my snowflake, reach in between the other arms. I'm going to put some foam tape on the back of this one, little foam squares. And I'm going to pop this into the middle. Of my card. Because the snowflake is up and to the left, to create a sense of balance, I'm going to bring this greeting a little more to the right, so that when I look at it, the weights work out. 2 things are helping create that sense of balance on the right. I will have the rhinestones at the bottom creating some weight, just visual weight. And I will have the sentiment that is lower and a little to the right, both creating a sense of balance so that when I look at my card, it looks pleasing. And I'm going to pop a big rhinestone into the center of my snowflake. And there we go. How pretty is that, guys? Isn't that beautiful? I'm really sorry for your loss, Roberta. We're really sorry. But I'm sure your work is going to be very appreciated. Beautiful. Okay, so we have finished one of our 2 inspiration cards. We have one more to do. I'm going to clean up a little of my mess here. Let's keep this ribbon out though, because we need that. And I'll clean up a little of my mess so I have a little area to work here. And we have our last card of the day, which is going to be this one. And this time, we're going to use the Dream Drops on this one. How am I doing for time?
It is 6:30.
6:30. Well, we should certainly be able to finish this in a half hour. So, all righty. You gave me 2 pieces of mirror board, right?
I did.
Yep.
Did you knock one off? I put them right there. And I can grab you another one.
Yep.
Let's just do that.
Oh, you know what? You gave me, I used them both. I said I still had one left because you cut my snowflakes. That's why I'm.
But I gave you 2.
Here, huh? Yeah. No, this will do. I have it already. I just forgot. Forgot what I was doing there for a minute. Just for a minute. All right. Let's see here. Let's do let's cover our card. Three strips of tape will do the job. I'm gonna peel my tape, position my mirror, and cut around it. Here, why don't you, if you will, stamp me up a Merry Christmas. It's assuming, oh, I put it back on the stamp sheet. Stamp me a little Merry Christmas, would you?
Mm-hmm.
And you can put that on here if you would. And you're going to need this, but I'll need it back shortly. We'll get the team in the works here. Okay, here we go. Here we go. All right, we're gonna flip this over and trim around it. Now we'd have lots of Mary left here for snowflakes, which you're gonna want to make more of, I can tell you right now, because this kit is fun. It is great, great fun. All right. If you wanted to, I didn't do it on this last one, but if you wanted to, this would look great if you wanted to put a little piece of Mary behind your, just with a narrow border. I'll put a little piece of Mary behind that too. All right. And it gave you a piece of plaid already, right? While you're playing with this, save these little pieces because they're great backers for your greetings. All right, so Margie's doing that. I'm gonna need to get this out here. We have to borrow back our stamp pad for a minute. I should have 2 of these, but I don't. I probably do, but don't. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I'm going to set this aside so I'm not inking on my pad. And all right, we're going to do the same thing we did before. Stamp, 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 stamp. Tap, 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 tap. I see a little bit of fuzz. Taking that off. I want it to be a little bit streaky, so I'm going to kind of pull that ink a little bit. Come back the other way. Hopefully not get too much on those snowflake tips. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to stamp, stamp, stamp. Yeah, I was just thinking one way you might be able to do this. I wonder if you could get a nice even layer of color with a brayer.
Oh, I'm sure.
You might.
Probably.
Might get a nice even layer of color with a brayer. That'd be worth a try sometime to just see if that wouldn't give you the even coat, you know, a more even coat. Although I do have to say I like the streakiness. This side's going to be pretty, I think. Let's see what it looks like. Like Christmas, you never know till you run it through. This technique can give a whole new life to some of your embossing folders out there, guys. Okay. That's pretty. Oh, this time I think I want this side. Look at this. What? We're finishing our last card. They asked me to do the inspiration cards too, and I agreed. Bryce thinks I'm too easy. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to trim this down. I know what size I got to get to. I got to get to a size that allows my mirror around the edge to show. So I'm going to get to 3 7/8 by 5 5/8. I'm just going to start by trimming up my edges a little bit. 3 7/8. That's going to be perfect there. Ooh, pretty. And I want this to go to 5 5/8, which is going to be just about right there. Let's see how this looks. Boy, that's pretty. Look at that. Isn't it gorgeous? Can you believe you can do that with an embossing folder? Wow. And that's not going to touch my I'm too easy comment.
Wow.
That's probably best, friend. Although when I said it, I have to admit I had some thoughts of my own. I trimmed just a little bit more because I wanted my top and bottom margin to be a little bit more even. There we go. That's beautiful. Now, I don't put it down yet because we're going to put our ribbons around it. Let's get our ribbons around it. I've got more paper if you need it.
It's okay. I just need to give up and try using tape flags.
Well, that's interesting. I think we have a battery telling us it wants to be replaced. If that's what it is, we are going to... Oh, I can't throw that away. That's my mask. We're going to hear more of it. Yep. Annette says, yep, being your twin, I knew. what you were thinking. Yes. All right. I used to be a human resources manager, and I used to do a training session for my employees called The Perception of Fairness. And in it, I started with that premise, and then I talked about everything from equal rights to favoritism in the workplace to how to stay out of trouble as a manager, and things that people just aren't necessarily trained in. That the person who tells a lot of jokes in the workplace is more likely to be the person who is accused of sexual harassment, or is people look at them and say, yeah, I heard what this person said once, and maybe that's true what he or she is saying about them. So I tried to use that class to teach people how to stay out of trouble at work. And one of the things I used to admit in that class is I've got just as good a sense of humor as the rest of you guys. So sometimes, it's there, I hear it, I want to comment, and I have to choke it back, and I have to say, no, that's not something I'm going to do in the workplace. But I feel it just as much as the rest of you. There's times I want to do it, but I don't. I choose not to.
Get the ink pad back.
Yes, you may. As soon as I figure out what I did with it.
It's probably somewhere with that second piece of Mary I gave you.
I think that second piece of Mary ended up on my last card, actually. Because I told you not to give me the 3 I needed, because I still had one. Because I was being silly. Okay, took my ribbon, wrapped it over the edge, about like that. Just secure it in the back. So, yeah. But that doesn't mean, the fact that I don't say anything doesn't mean that I don't sometimes think it, And sometimes I do say it because I'm not a human resources manager anymore. I'm no longer bound by those conventions. But that still doesn't mean I want profanity preceding my video.
That's funny because I was just about ready to say that.
Yes, that still doesn't mean that. Okay, I'm going to cut this ribbon off here. These pieces end up being, just FYI, about 8 inches. You need 2 8-inch pieces to do this. And we're going to peel or tape on the back of this one.
I'm going to let you cut that one off because I did the middle piece by hand since I don't have a cutter. So
thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. And I'm going to wrap these around the back. This one little piece of ribbon just does not want to behave, but it's going to because it's going to be secured behind the card. So that's looking good. And now we can go ahead and put it down to the Mary. My hunky-dory tape is the stronger of the 2 tapes. So I'm going to use my hunky-dory to tape this in place. I really want to catch this corner well, since I already have a piece of ribbon that doesn't want to behave. I'm going to really tape this corner down. And then that ribbon will have to behave. Trimming the tape off on the end, because sometimes when you're right at the end like that, you get a little piece of sticky hanging over it. I hate that when that happens. Okay. A haunted door squeak. Yeah, the hunky-dory tape. You know, the beautiful thing about the craft style tape is that it's almost a little bit repositionable. You know, I always say that with a grain of salt because, you know, you want to put it where you want it to begin with, but occasionally it will let you sort of pop it up depending on the material you have it on. But the hunky dory tape, when it's down, it's down. You know, it's going to stay there. And if you try to reposition it, it's going to tear up your paper. So I don't recommend repositioning hunky dory. Once it's there, it's staying there. Which means I'm going to have to put this piece of paper on my card really carefully since I just taped the heck out of it. And I'm not that therefore using. We are in the dark last night for 3 hours, folks. When I say dark, I mean dark. You were in the dark. Oops, because of the storm, huh? Took your power away. Ooh. So very dark, huh? That's kind of eerie when the power goes out at night, isn't it? It doesn't scare me, but I do have a feeling of eeriness, you know, when the power goes out at night. Of course, Margie lived without power for, what, 7 days last year after the fires?
This last February.
Last February, yeah.
Just not that long ago.
That's true.
I grew up in the country, or at least for a good portion of my life, I grew up in the country, and so it also had all the water that you get in Oregon. Where we lived, it was almost the same amount of water in 3 months.
Oh.
So inevitably, there were always landslides and power was out, and so it actually kind of, while the cold part I did not like, this time around with the power out, it kind of gives you that feeling of when I was a kid growing up.
Yeah.
And it is very quiet, Annette. I agree.
Well, when our power goes out here, I sleep with a CPAP machine, and I don't have a battery backup on mine at present, although that's in my future. But I sleep with a CPAP machine, so when the power goes out, I end up getting up because I can't breathe good laying down. And so I always know when the power's out at night. Okay, I'm just not laying this down until I get it right where I want it. Once I do, it's going to be stuck for good. So what is. All right. So we got that part done. We're going to put our snowflakes on. We're going to put a snowflake up here. Now, again, these should stick fairly well because of sticking to cardstock and ribbon up here. So these should stick fairly well. You might still have to pat them down a little bit while they're drying to keep all the arms of the snowflake behaving. But
Annette said that even the bugs hushed. Now, why is that?
That's weird, isn't it? I love that sound in the summer at dusk when you have all the crickets and the frogs and everything, that dusk sound. I love that. It's just one of my favorite things. Oh, that's pretty. That's pretty on there. Just gotta say, it's pretty on there. And now I'm going to put this one, and I'm actually intentionally laying it right over my ribbon over here, just because sometimes layering those elements looks better than positioning everything between. It can look better and offset. Again, we don't want things to be absolutely symmetrical. We got to let our artistic inside loosen, make things offset a little bit. Okay, you can see these trying to pop up a little bit, so I may just hold them a second till they tack. Okay, we're outside the city, so we still get a little ambient light, but we're surrounded by trees, so what little that might have lit us is kind of consumed by the fact that I think I'm going to cut that down some more, March, but that's okay. We'll do it. Okay.
I wasn't sure what size you
That's
needed.
okay. That's all right. I can just use another little piece of Mary and go around the revised one. Okay, cutting my Merry Christmas down. I'm leaving a nice border on all sides of it. I actually want to put some pearl drops up here. So let's see how much I want there. Well, maybe. That actually is pretty good. Let's just use that like it is. I like it. Or use it just like it is.
I will tell you how nice this thick finger lift was, because I put it on the back of that paper, and I didn't use a tape flag, and I was doing it by hand, and when I cut a little crooked, so I had to lift it back off. And do you know, normally with that thin paper, if you tried to peel that off of Miri, you wouldn't be able to, and it would just tear. It just peeled right back, but you can't peel it off now because it's stuck long enough.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
That I'm really liking that craft style tape. I use it probably more than the hunky dory now. Okay, let's take a look at this. I might trim this a little bit because it's going to kind of cover more of my snowflakes than I want. So I'm going to go ahead and trim this back a bit. Not because there's anything wrong with it. It actually looks great, but just because I need to get it a little bit smaller to fit the space I allowed. That's better. That's going to be better. Okay, we're putting that on there. Let's get some more foam squares. Now we're almost up to the Dream Drops time. I like the Dream Drops time. Okay, foam squares. Foam squares. And foam squares. I don't need this many foam squares, guys. I just kind of took them in a group to make it quick. Okay. We're going to go right into the center with this one. Oops, let's right side up is always good. Just a little something I've learned along the way. Okay, I'm going to pretty much center that Merry Christmas. And it's Dream Drops time. Okay, here we go. I'm going to kind of start in the middle and work around so I don't get my hand in it. I'm going to start. Now, one of the things I like about these Dream Drops is that you can make a very dimensional pearl. It might stick up a little bit at first, but it will settle back into a perfect pearl. Might practice a little bit with a piece of scrap paper if necessary. I'm sorry, Margie, you were saying something.
That was totally my fault. If you find that it's sticking up still and it hasn't laid down, all you have to do is kind of pick up your card and let it kind of drop.
Oh, drop it
and
a little?
That's
a good tip.
Hold on the end and just tap just a little bit, and
That's
it gets rid of that ridge.
Okay. Now, we have a plethora of this. We have plenty of this. So I'm going to just dream drop everything in sight. Why? Because I can. And I think they're beautiful. It's just making these really beautiful pearls, which I like so much. So I'm putting little drops over the branch kind of areas on the snowflake, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Maybe you can come in really close for a second, Margie. Can you? Because I want to show them what I'm talking about with these little branches.
That's as close as I can get.
Oh, that's good. That's actually good. See these little branches right here, guys? Right there. We got a little branch here, and we got a little branch on the other side here, and then we got the branch on the very end. That's what I'm putting little tiny pearls of dream drops there because they look so delicate and so pretty. Look how beautiful that looks. It looks like I have seeded pearls in each of those places, doesn't it? Isn't that gorgeous? Beautiful. Okay, now I'm going to keep working my way around. Put the big dream drops in the middle here. I'm going to make myself a good sized pearl and pull it up. I'm going to make one. I'm going to come into, let's see, what did I do here? I'm going to, I could do one there, but I'm going to put pearls in the loops of the heart. See the heart there? Right there? I'm going to put pearls right into the, oops, they should have been up higher, but that's okay. I'm going to put pearls right into the loops, the bigger loops of the heart. Look how beautiful that's turning out. Now I'm going to put pearls into this little triangular area right here. And I'm going to put a tiny pearl right at the end in that little diamond. Beautiful. Beautiful. Isn't that pretty? Oh my gosh. Okay, I've got another one of those like I started with, so I'm going to do a nice size pearl, just covering that circle in the middle. Now I'm going to go to the branches, do small pearls on the branches, 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 small pearls on the branches. Now I'm going to ignore, I think, the little tiny snowflakes because I'm afraid that it would look too busy. I would begin to lose, oops, let's see if I can come over here. I would begin to lose the effect that I'm getting with my big pearls if I start putting them all over the place. So I have one corner left to do here. I'm going to put my bigger pearl in the center. I'm going to put little pearls on the branches. Now you do want to set this somewhere safe and let this dry for hours. Don't touch it. Don't come near it. Just set it somewhere safe and let it dry for hours because these dream drops, all of the Nouveau drops do take a while to dry. And some little paper shards there on my snowflake. I'm going to put a nice drop in the center of my snowflake. And now I'm going to, it looks like on my sample, I did the same thing I did with the little tiny ones. I put a good size, well, not huge, but a notable pearl on each of the three branchy areas. of the larger snowflake.
I have it so squeezed in, you'll have to move it to your left a little bit.
To my left or your
No,
left?
your left. There you go. There you go.
There we go. Wowzer. Okay, come back just a little so we can see the card.
It's amazing when you think that those dots are huge, but they aren't when you go to pull back.
Yeah, when you pull back, you don't see them hardly at all. But I'm going to show you my sample again.
They are so much fun to just rub your hands across.
It's neat to have the tactile finish. Oh my gosh. There we go. Wowzer, wowzer, wowzer. And these dream drops are just, they truly are a dream to use. I'm really, really loving this pearl dream drops. This one is called Cloud 9. And that's what I feel like I'm on when I'm using it because it's very fun.
And it's part of the accessory kit along with the moonstone.
Yes,
case.
it is. In the accessory kit, these two products cost $14. Your accessory kit is $16.95. So all the other supplies I'm putting in combined is $2.95, and you get these. So it's a good deal. You get these two full-size products. Now remember, you can put this on with a paintbrush. You can use a little dauber. You can put a little bit out on a palette, and you can put it on with a credit card like we did. There's just so much that you can do with these pastes. It's not just for stencils. There's a lot that you can do. Well, we've done it, guys. We did it. 6 cards. We're right at 3 hours, maybe?
We are at 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock, straight up.
Well, 4 minutes.
6 cards, 4 minutes to go, or 4 minutes after?
4 minutes after.
Well, I'm not going to take any more of your time. I'm probably not going to go ahead and promote the cards for Saturday again since we're all sold out. So those of you who got your card kits, tune in on Saturday. If you weren't fortunate enough to get one of the card kits for Saturday, come join us anyway and chat and visit and have fun. And any questions about any of the products we used today or any of the techniques we learned today? Anything you guys have a question about? Anything at all? When will Teddy have his other videos posted to YouTube? Dear hubby thinks he's cute. I have to catch a video of Teddy trying to get the water that's coming out of the hose. Oh my gosh, he is hysterically funny, attacking the water from the hose. And he comes in totally drenched and the happiest dog you've ever seen, especially when it's so hot outside and he's woolly. You know, he loves it. He loves to go after that. So I have to try and catch a video of Teddy while Bryce is watering the plants. That is just too funny. And there's another one I want to catch too, when he's playing in the living room and he does figure eights on the furniture. It's hysterically funny. So I'll try and catch some videos and post some more Teddy Cam videos for you soon. Thank you very much for hanging out with me for a long time today. I hope you enjoy this kit as much as I did. This is just one of the most fun things. I can't tell you how fun it is. So you guys enjoy yours when you're working on them. I will love to hear some feedback after you guys have started working on these. It's just great, great fun. Thank you guys for tuning in. And for now, I'm going to say good night, Gracie.